Jaguars back in the win column after defeating the Patriots 32-16. Now, before we get into this game, big shout out to BetUS. This video is sponsoring, guys. Jaguars were actually 5.5-point favorites to beat the New England Patriots, which I wasn't really advising anyone to really put money on it just with how bad the Jaguars were. But the Jaguars took care of business. They win the game, and they also beat the spread. So all good stuff. We're going to get back into really calling out spreads on Club Jaguar. I know I canceled the show the last couple of weeks due to different circumstances, but this Wednesday night we'll go back into different spreads each week and put some live money on it. I did put some money on this game at halftime. I think the spread was 14.5 Jaguars, and they covered that one too. Jaguars won by 16, so that one was pretty cool. So if you guys want to get in on some of the fun, BetUS will get you guys a 150% deposit bonus if you use promo code YouTube150. They got 24/7 customer support and also quick 24-hour payouts. Shout out to BetUS, and as always, gamble responsibly. So now we're going to talk about this game. Yeah, the Jaguars win this one 32-16. It was kind of a blowout, although it didn't start that way. The freaking Patriots went up 10-0 to start the game, and it was like, man, I knew we were bad, but I did not think we were this bad. But then the Jaguars scored 25 unanswered after that, and even at halftime, we're up 22-10. So kind of turned things around very quickly from there. A big game ball really goes to the Jaguars' offensive line. I mean, Trevor Lawrence wasn't sacked this game, and also Tank Bigsby was running crazy. 26 carries for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns for Tank Bigsby. The guy is definitely a beast. If Tank Bigsby holds onto the ball, he's a great running back. And it's really exciting because it really feels like he does things that ETN can't. He honestly runs between the tackles just a lot better. And it seems like he just gets through the line a lot better. And he can really put a shoulder down and really engage contact. So really, really good game from Tank Bigsby. That was really cool to see. Trevor Lawrence had himself a really good game, 15 for 20, 75% completion percentage, 193 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, the stats weren't all that crazy because the Jaguars basically in the second half were just running the ball like crazy. I'd like to see a play sheet on like the actual count, the actual plays during the last 20 to 30 plays because, man, they were just run. I mean, they didn't even really try to pass. But, yeah, Trevor Lawrence connected with his favorite receiver, Brian Thomas Jr., 5 receptions, 89 yards, and a touchdown, including one really nice deep ball. This is a relationship, and this is a duo that's really fun to kind of really see form. I know, unfortunately, the Jaguars are 2-5, so it's not like, it's been that fun to watch the Jaguars. But one thing that is fun is watching Brian Thomas Jr., and, yeah, he's like the whole Calvin Ridley thing. I know Calvin Ridley didn't work out for us when we wanted to get him, but man, the trade-off really worked out because, man, I think everybody would rather have Brian Thomas Jr. and his young self than the 30-year-old Calvin Ridley going forward. So, yeah, Brian Thomas Jr., it's going to be fun to continue to see him grow, and man, that deep ball is awesome. And I just remember in the past, Trevor Lawrence would throw a deep ball, and like if there was any bit of like contestedness to the catch, or any bit of, a defender being near them, the guys wouldn't make the catch. But Brian Thomas Jr. is making that catch every time, and it's really, really cool. So, I like they try to get him the ball different ways, had a couple reverses for him. So, yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. is a stud, and he's going to keep on growing with this, with this offense. So, yeah, Trevor Lawrence just saw 200 yards passing, and Trevor Lawrence put together 3 really good games in a row. I mean, I know it's kind of being overshadowed by just the Jaguars, losing and everything, but Trevor Lawrence is fine. Look, I know a lot of people will hate on Trevor Lawrence, and when a team is losing, that's the first guy you're going to point at as a quarterback, but Trevor Lawrence has been fine, and he was, really helped the Jaguars go on to victory in this one. And, yeah, he's a guy that I continue to really enjoy watching, and defensively, got to give a big shout out to our boy Trayvon Walker, former number 1 overall pick. He has himself 6 sacks on the year, so he's definitely getting up there. He's a sack leader for the Jaguars, and he's having a pretty good year. And he definitely was disruptive this game. So this is 2 games in a row where, was it 2 games in a row? I don't remember if it was last game or the game before, but he's been able to get. No, it was the Colts where he had got like 3 sacks or something like that. So he's definitely been a problem. Josh Hines-Allen has kind of been disappearing. I don't really know what the Jaguars, what his deal is, but I would definitely like to see him get just like a little bit more involved. It was weird going into this one because, you know, the Jaguars traded Roy Robertson Harris last week, and Mason Smith again was a healthy scratch this game. The Jaguars' second round pick from LSU. Don't know what's going on there, but man, you don't want to be healthy scratching your second round pick. I mean, that does not say a lot of good things about the player. So, big shout out to Ventrell Miller. Thought he had himself a good game. We had Tyson Campbell back from injury. He was on a limited snap count, but you know he did pretty good when the ball, you know, when the ball was thrown his way. You know he should have got an interception. Andre Sisco should have got himself an interception too. You know, when you look at Drake May's numbers, I mean he had some pretty gaudy numbers. 26 of 37, 276 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But a lot of it was garbage time, and a lot of it was Jaguars should have had 2 picks on him. Should have had at least 2 interceptions. But the Jaguars stifled them in the run game. I mean, their leading rusher, Ramondre Stevenson, 7 carries for 18 yards. They averaged, you know, Drake May was a second leading rusher, 3 carries for 18 yards. You know, they only averaged 2.5 yards a carry, 38 total rushing yards for the Patriots. Their only guy that was really affecting us in the pass game was Hunter Henry, kind of early on. But yeah, the Jaguars dominated this one from start to finish. Also got to give a huge shout out to Parker Washington in the return game. He had himself a touchdown. What was it, a 96, 97-yard punt return. So that was really cool to see. Jaguars get some special teams magic. But yeah, overall, the Jaguars just completely killed the Patriots this game and were, you know, by far the better team. So, you know, I know we look at these games in a little bit of a weird of a way because I know me, I'm not going to take the Jaguars seriously until they get back to 500. They're 2-5 right now. They have a really, really tough slate of games coming up. They are set to play the Packers at home next week. In 2 weeks, they're supposed to play in Philadelphia on Monday Night Football. I don't know if that has any risk of getting flexed out. You know, then they have games against the Lions, Vikings, and Texans. So, like, your next, 5 games are against teams with winning records. So, go prove yourself. Hey, I'll go out there and cheer for you every week. How about that? I won't cheer for the tank, okay? The Packers are 3-0 against the AFC South. They just beat the Texans today, so they're not going to be an easy opponent, but hey, why don't we go out there and win, you know? And then we can maybe get some things going and try to fight to get back to 500. I'm all for it. I'll be rooting for it, but hey, things have not changed. We're still fire everybody over here. We're still get rid of GM Dave Caldwell, Trent Baalke, even Doug Peterson, and hope for a newer and brighter future with this team. I mean, the Jaguars beat the worst team in football. It's a win. A win is a win. But the Patriots are the worst team in football right now. So the Jaguars prove that they are not the worst team in the NFL, which is good. But yeah, the Jaguars still have a lot to prove. And, you know, like I said, I'm not really going to take them seriously until they can get back to 500 and really start, you know, getting some back-to-back wins, piling up wins, and start beating some good teams. So, yeah, that's the final. Jaguars defeat the Patriots at 32-16. Don't really have much else for you guys. So, you know, with all that said, if you guys can, on your way out, please drop a like for me. Also, huge shout out to BetUS for being a sponsor of this video as well as this channel. And with all that said, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your evening, and go Jags.